To be fair, the thumbnail is nothing new, but yeah. I still need a drill to properly do my shark rigs, but let's build some leaders for sturgeon, shall we? And actual sturgeon leaders. Here is a boxed up pan spinfisher 10,500 I spooled for him, but he says he actually doesn't need the reel anymore, so. You know, it's a big as a reel. It's a big as a reel. Alrighty. Hey, M Picker. What up? Yeah. This is my real pack for shipping, by the way, guys. Like you can see, I packed this very well. This would have been going out to her for sturgeon, but he doesn't need the reel anymore, so it's what it is. I even put the handle onto the right side. What up, sturgeon? I don't, but I might start. So yeah, this would have been your real sturgeon, but you know. It is a beauty. Spooled pretty much perfectly, I'd say. I even made some custom shims for it. But anyway. What I want is the hooks that were next to it. The hooks that I have with it in the shipping container. I believe I have them in here. At least one pack, yeah. So here we have 3 of our 4-act wire 10-0 mustard barbless circle hooks. Okie dokie. Though these are some of the smaller hooks, of course, I'm using for the leaders I built, but for sturgeon should be a good size. We are a blizzard here in Minnesota. Nice. Okay, where do I have the leader line that I want to use? 7 leader, 0.9 millimeter. That's a bit on the light side. It'll still do, but. I've checked, I'll make sure I'm using something roughly equivalent to your leader, what you use, just a lot stronger. The stuff I just had in my hand was 140-pound braided leader material, but it's thinner because it's, you know, stronger fiber. That's 140-pound hollow core, not the one we want. I mean, if I don't find the one I'm looking for, I could just use that. It'll still work just fine. But yeah, those also, you know, they're very heavy hooks, so a bit of a stronger leader should work well in combination with them. And I thought I had them. What happened? I'm a mess. Anyway, I'll also be, those are perfect. Nice. I'll also be basically putting all the stuff that is specifically for fishing, for lure fishing and bait fishing. I can put all of that away because I won't be needing it the next couple months, because you're not allowed to fish with lures and bait fish. You know. Because well, actually not even the majority, but two of our common predatory fish, they're closed now, and a few years ago they made it so you're not allowed to use lures or bait fish during that entire period, which blows because there's still other fish you can fish for very selectively that are open all year round, but anyway, I'll make the rules, unfortunately. So, here's what it is. And especially since I make videos, you know, I do have to follow the rules no matter how stupid they might be at times. Hey, where's my leader material? Well, if I don't find them now, I'll just build some leaders with lighter stuff and maybe rebuild, or yeah. I don't want to keep all of you waiting just because I can't find it. I have like 500 yards of 130-pound dark ones, so you wouldn't really have to tie leaders, honestly, bro. I know. I still want to see what you say to my leaders made from braided line, because from braided leader material, I can make some special kind of leaders that you can't really tie in other materials. So I want, and the only real situation where I've really used that technique so far was on crocodiles, which was very different kind of fishing, you know. Literally, only for crocs I've used these kind of leaders. Which was a very, okay. I might just say screw it. Or we can start building a shark rig. Yeah, this is the stuff I have right now. Just wondering if that's too thin. That's awesome. I'm very close to Berkeley Outlet in Iowa. Hey, Glacier Shark, yeah. Actually, never mind. I have an idea where I've put my stuff. Can't find it. If it's not even in this room, can I? clear, then we'll do it. If not, then we'll just use other stuff. I'm pretty sure I put it in here. Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? Nope. Whatever. Well, I can still build a leader at least to show why I have this. No, to show off my special technique with the. I mean, that's already 130-pound leader, so it might already be enough. Yeah, it's crazy, so cheap. Talking about the Berkeley outlet. Hey, Abdullah, real YouTube. Spin burst, spin burst. Okay. Need to cut off a length. Right, you do relatively short leaders, I remember. So, yeah, that'll be enough. No, that's let's get us a needle. They actually limit you to some items because it's so cheap. Reels for like. That must be a joke. Okay, I will do that. You'll do what? What will you do, Abdullah? Hi. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Big loop sturgeon, so you can loop them on easily. Now the magic happens. So if I don't respond, bro, all good with my wife. Oh crap, yeah. My girl hasn't been the best either. She's, at least for today, probably out of the woods, but yeah. She's hopefully asleep right now. Hi there. You can't open this. Yeah. So am I. So am I. Also very small content creator. Yeah. Well, basically the magical part is done of a rig. Question is, should we still add another stitch or should we just call? Nah, we'll call it. Or nah, we'll add one more. For, yeah, to make it pretty. Yeah. Sleep is definitely good when someone's not well. Okay. This needle was great so far, but it's going to be a pain now. So let's just take one of our hollow cord splicing needles. That'll make the job a lot easier. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. Enough. Voila. Now the magic with this leader is you have this loop, but you can pull on this loop however you want. It's never going to open. It just stays, but it's still a spliced loop. And then on here, we're just going to tie our hook, and there you go. Thing is, for those big circles, I might want to use. I still kind of want to use the other leader material I haven't been able to find. But yeah. Anyway. Oh. Actually, this is all stuff we don't need anymore. Beautiful little lure. Yes, I did say little. And no, I'm not serious. Anyway. Usually when I say something crazy, I am serious, but for once I'm not. Just so you all know. Anywho. Yeah, definitely got some shark leaders to rebuild. But now that those sturgeon leaders are bugging me because I figured out how to do them and you know. Can't find some materials, which if you set out to do something, you want to do it, you know. Just moving on to something. It's like unfinished business. Sorry, man. Very bad connection on my end with the storm and all. Oh, okay. All good, man. Probably the river. I'll have to get to know you, Abdullah. Then maybe. So yeah, it's most likely gonna be the River Rhine, maybe the Neckar, but probably the Rhine. I have been looking at some cars. If I can somehow get one, if I can get my hands on one, then I'll be going fishing probably a few times a week as soon as I've got a car, actually. Well, okay, right now we're not allowed to lure fish. It'll be a bit harder to do quick sessions, but I'll still do some. But yeah, I'll definitely be going fishing on a regular basis as soon as I've got a car. So yeah. Ah, there we have our sturgeon leader material. Very, very nice. But yeah, I don't make people moderators that I don't know, so nothing against you, just have to get to know you first, you know? As soon as we've got a car, we're fishing. That's for sure. And sorry for my nose. It's just, yeah, can't really do much about it. Okay, I know sturgeon doesn't fish super long leaders, so we'll do like what, 3 feet that we're cutting off. I think he fishes even shorter leaders, but we'll lose like half a foot tying easily. So yeah. Neither of these ends are clean cut. Okay, that should be. Okay. Clean enough. Yeah. And sturgeon, if you are listening, if you're gonna get that Macaira 30, this will be a perfect leader to put on it. For some behemoth sturgeons. Oh right, you're actually gonna be doing this. This is a special technique of splice. Like I said, it will never ever open on its own. That is what makes this splicing technique so special. It's just something else. No one, I've never seen anyone do this. There's a much worse technique that uses the same principle that I've seen once before. But this way is definitely superior. And again, I've never seen a single person use this technique. Doesn't mean I'm the only one who's discovered it, but I have discovered it on my own. That is, I can't claim that I've discovered it myself. Of course, a lot of things get discovered more than once, you know. And yeah, everyone, let's send good wishes to Hurton for Sturgeon's wife, who's in the hospital with cancer. We don't talk about religious stuff on this channel, but still, we can definitely send some good thoughts out. And if you know him personally, of course, you know, send your regards or whatever. Yeah, let's do 2 more stitches than necessary. Because, you know, we like to go be a bit of perfectionists over here. And these leaders are equipped with big loops. So even with a fully baited hook, you can still loop them on. That's why they're designed the way they are. They're specifically designed to be able to be fished. Or, yeah, it's designed to be attached even with a bait already attached. So you can pre-rig your baits at home, keep the leaders in your bait bag or bait box or whatever, and then just loop on a fresh leader with a fresh bait. Depending on how intense your rigging process is, that can be very beneficial. It can also mean absolutely nothing, you know, but yeah. Whenever I'm eel fishing, depending on how I fish, I might want to, for example, use a bait needle. Then this technique is also very beneficial for me to just pull a worm with a bait needle onto my leader. And yeah, like I said, you cannot open these loops. Once they're done, impossible. I mean, I could sit here with a needle and would probably still take me like 15 minutes to undo this splice. And it is a splice. There's not a single knot, which also means you can literally pull this through a worm without a bait needle, even on heavy leader, without the worm popping. That is something you just cannot do with other materials. It doesn't work. You can try it, but you're not gonna pull. Yeah, you know, you're not gonna pull a loop in 200-pound leader material through a worm. However, you can my secured splice. All right. Let's see if we can even taper this end a bit. It won't matter at all. it doesn't really have any benefits, so screw it. This is something I have to get more comfortable with. To not be a perfectionist, but I'm already getting better at it. To not be a perfectionist when it has no benefit. When it has a benefit, I don't mind being a perfectionist. I don't mind putting in work that might be unnecessary if there's even a small benefit to be had, you know? But when there's absolutely zero benefit, I'm getting away from it. Because in this case, with how physics work, it just isn't gonna do anything. So why bother, you know? All right. Our spliced loop done, but a spliced loop you can never ever open. Ta-da! Again, pretty short leaders, because actually let me check for what Hurting for Sturgeon has sent me, but I'm pretty dang sure he's shown me that they use pretty short leaders. And you could just tie a no knot. I'll actually show this to you on camera right now. You could just stick your tag end through here, do 5 to 8 reps, stick your loop through again, and you've got a leader. And this works beautifully. But in an unlikely case, it is not impossible for this to open. Although I could use this and just put some shrink tube over it. That would be the strongest connection, just this with a little shrinky. But let's tie a uni knot on the shank. It's almost as strong and it's impossible to open. You don't need anything on top of it. So yeah. And we're actually not going to lose any material either. Not really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should have made this leader this loop bigger, because I'm not losing this leader material. Maybe some on France. If not, you know, the River Rhine, kind of a famous river. Been a big part in both world wars and some other stuff. That's like 10 minutes from my house. The problem with it is, unfortunately, it's one of the worst rivers for winter fishing. Like, I'm pretty much any other part of Germany is better to fish in winter than where I live, because of course it is. But other than that, yeah, let's pull this tight. So I live in the worst part of the country to fish in winter, but it's not winter anymore. The water is warming up. It's warm enough now to do some bait fishing. So as soon as I get a car, we should be good to go. And here, 1 liter for sturgeon done. And actually, I'll put a hook sleeve on there. He can remove it if he likes to. Let's do that. Yeah, let's check that leader. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's what, 2 feet leader length. Pretty short, pretty short. Okay. Pretty short, dang short. Alrighty. Leader done. That's pretty much the same length leader he uses, just with a circle hook. Nice. By the way, I can also make you leaders without hooks. They'll be cheaper to ship and easier. I'll be home in like 35. Okay, man. Okay, Herr Sturgeon. I just finished your first leader. This is the length, so just about 2 feet. Big loop, so you can loop through even a big bait and attach the leader with the bait already attached. And yeah, spliced loop, never ever gonna open. Also, it's thin, so you can use a bait needle and pull it through your bait without making a hole in the bait. And there you go. Hook tied on with a 7-turn uni knot on the shank. And I will, you can have, I'll see if I can put a sleeve on here, a hook sleeve. It's a nice finish for it. It's not necessarily, it works either way, but yeah. Do we have a regular bait needle or just some wire maybe? This one will work. This one will work. I think. Yo. Yo, yo, yo. Nice, yeah. Normally I make my leaders longer, but I remembered you don't use very long leaders. And here we have a hook sleeve on there. You like it? That way you can see where the hook is immediately and don't accidentally grab into the mouth because it's this bright green. If you think it's a bad thing to have, just tell me, then I can just remove them. But yeah. They cost like 20 cents, so they're not going to significantly change the price of your leaders. Actually, I think we can just straight up use this, all of this leader. We can make 2 more leaders out of this. Yeah, that won't be enough for 3 leaders. So let's cut our losses. Not cut our losses. Let's cut the leader. And we'll just do this. We'll have 3 almost perfect sturgeon leaders done. So we use up about 3 feet of leader material, but again, to a loop or other connections, some of that goes. So yeah. And I really like to make these loops big enough that you can actually fit your hand through them. That way, you know. You can just grab through the loop, grab the bait, pull it through, and it's a done deal, super quick and super fast. Yeah, that'll be good enough. Is this going to be a hassle? No, it works fine. And yeah, good luck to your wife, Sturgeon. And I also asked everyone else to, keep her in their thoughts, and if they know you or her, to yeah, send send their best wishes directly. I hope that's okay, but since you shared it on here publicly, I thought it was the right thing to do. Of course, if you would have told me in private, I wouldn't have told anyone else unless you gave me permission to. By the way, that goes to anyone. If you tell me something publicly, I'll assume it's public information, or at least it's okay for the public to know. If you tell me something in private, I will not assume that. If you tell me something privately, I'll go off the premise that it's private information unless you tell me otherwise. And I will check back with you before I tell anyone. Okay. Let's do our last and kind of unnecessary pass through with the needle. Nice and centered. Yes, baby. See, that's a bit off center. Better. Okay, let's just. These little strands sticking out are annoying me, so let's burn them off. A slightly bigger needle would also make the job easier, but oh well. Not worth the effort to actually go look for it. Okay, done. Done, done, done. This is a done deal. A done deal by Dundee. Ho ho ho. Okay. Can we get better? Can we get us even closer? Not that we really need to, but okay, that's good. We're in, fellas. We're in. We got inside. We've penetrated. Actually, but we're in without actually penetrating the wall again. Mhm. Alrighty. Next leader done. Oh. It's too bad I don't really have a use for braided leaders anymore because I love these loops. Actually, I might, when I go back to fishing for eels, I will use cable, but I might also use some braided leaders again. And there it should work just fine. So yeah. Anyway, next hook. To make the pulling tight easier, we'll do one little overhand knot on the very tack end. And now just a big old loop. Big old loop. Actually, yeah, pulling it back like that works and allows us to wrap easier and tighter with basically zero waste. Actually, we might be able to get it all the way to the tag end. I think we will. Yep. Yep. Oh no, that's just the verse tie. No. Okay, never mind. I did it wrong. I missed it. I did it wrong. Okay. Okay, actually, we don't need to go through the eye though. But okay, we'll have to shorten this tag end. Otherwise, it's just gonna be way unnecessary long knot. Okay. Honestly, that's too many wraps already. It's just gonna make it hard to close properly. Yep. But we can still use this little knot. Okay, that's a properly tightened knot. Back through. Voila! Beautiful. And yeah, for the customer that's buying, oh, I need to charge my phone. 97%. That's enough on the notebook. The guy that's buying these leaders He could just, he really just wants the hook. But the thing, he doesn't mind me building the leaders for him. And for me, of course, you know, it's a great marketing opportunity. It is what it is. Getting some big fish caught on my leaders, it just sells. It's gonna help me sell my leaders so that, and he doesn't mind doing it, even recording videos and sending me pictures. So yeah, for that reason, for me, it's not a question. I am building these leaders. All right. We got our hook sleeve on here. Voila. Nice. Actually, let me do that on that other one. Let's make it a bit. Yeah, that way it wants to turn even a little tiny bit better. Okay, okay. Sorry for my nose, folks. Sorry for my nose. I can't change it. Anyway, we've got one sturgeon leader left. One sturgeon leader left. Then I'm out of my material. Well, I still have some hooks somewhere else, but yeah. Actually, but maybe that'll actually be good. Then sturgeon can fish my leaders against his own and tell me what he prefers. And of course, if a well-known, respected fisherman like Hurton for sturgeon says mine are better, then, you know, doesn't mean he's going to stop using his own leaders, but it does mean mine are pretty damn good. All right. All right. I mean, yeah. Let's get her done. Okay, Leah, let's do two more passes just for uniformity. Not really because we need to. Honestly, we could already use it like this. Sorry. Sorry. Can't help the runny nose. Okay. Okay. Final pass, then we'll splice in our leftover tag end, and then the leader. And then we can just tie our hook on, put a hook sleeve on there, and call it done. And we've got 3 sturgeon leaders ready for a monster. Okay. Final leader. Let's do our splice. Yep. Beautiful. Done. Done. Do. Let's already get the hook sleeve on now. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh. No, whatever. We'll get it on at the end. Like we did so far. A little knot, that'll help with pulling tight. Yeah, buddy. Hey, hi there, what's up? Welcome, 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 welcome. Screw it if you lose an inch offline. Let's just get it done. Or not. Okay. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Beautiful. Okay, this is probably the shortest out of all of leaders, but oh well. It will still do the job. Hook sleeve on here. Okie dokie. Voila. Done, done, done. All right. 3 sturgeon leaders are ready to go. With hook sleeves and everything. And our splice loops. Just to show you how close they all are in length. Pretty close. Not identical, but pretty close. Anywho, I need to wash my hands real quick. I'll be right back. Right back. Maybe I might have to do a quick bathroom break too, or not sure yet. Alright, folks. Yo, hey Sturgeon, what's up, man? What's up? Well, I finished 3 Sturgeon leaders. Oh, here's a leader I've already made with lighter material. But yeah. Hi there, hurting for Sturgeon. So yeah. I've added these hook sleeves. If you don't like them, I'll take them off. But yeah. And these, are the loops. What happened here? Like, come on. They cannot open. Look, even if I let loose, they cannot be pulled open. And it doesn't get thicker at all. Especially if you want to needle a bait on, that's going to be really nice. But for needling bait, of course, I don't know how these hook sleeve will fare. So yeah. Anyway, those look amazing. Thank you. And the good thing about these hook sleeves is, because they're neon green, you'll immediately see where in the mouth you've hooked the fish. So you're not going to put your hand next to the hook by accident. That's one reason to use these as well, other than just wrapping up the leader neatly. And I do have, I think, 3 more of these hooks. Question is, should I tie leaders like these with them, or should I just put them in your bag without anything, so you can maybe, I don't know, fish them against each other with these kind of leaders against the leaders you normally make. Or I can also make some leaders with some thinner 130-pound material. I don't have any other true barbless hooks, J hooks. That otherwise I would just say let's make some of those, but yeah. I know you need 100% barbless hooks where you are, so kind of defeats the purpose. Anyway. And the thing is, I do not need true barbless hooks. I honestly, and with hooks these size, I prefer to leave a little bit of a barb on there still. And I mean, here it's legal, and yeah. And I don't release that many of my fish, if I'm being honest. Oh, okay, we only have 2 more. Or I can also just make some lighter leaders. I'd say can do with some without, if you like, if you'd like. Sure. Or maybe I can do just this. How long is this leader? Okay, this is too, honestly, this is too long for your style of fishing. I'll make 1 more leader, and then the rest I'll send to you as is. By the way, for giant fish with small hooks, best J hook, in my opinion, BKK Puka. Extremely strong, extremely sharp, very corrosion resistant. Anywho, so this will be 130 pounds. Just so you can compare my leader material to yours in the same strength, in the same test. Just will this end up too short? We'll see. And you get big loops, so you can just put on a whole, like I said, you can have your baits already attached, and you can still just loop them through. Which I think, if you're already using braided leader materials, that's something I wouldn't want to miss. Of course, if you're using cable or whatever, it doesn't work. But yeah, you're not. So let's center the needle. Done. Because yeah, the ones I've made you there were pretty. That's some really hefty stuff. But then again, those are some really hefty hooks. So it, you know, it all it's all proportionate. This leader will be same hook, but maybe for a caster rig, you want to use some lighter leader. This is my 130-pound leader of choice whenever I use braided leader material. I'm looking forward to using these. I'm super excited about the shark leaders. Yeah, we might or might not build some shark leaders too now. Only thing with, I don't know how my elbows will like it. And I do have some arm training tomorrow. Let's do a one leader that I think I'll call the Stealthy Tiger. Let's basically just do a rebuild of a leader that we already have done. The one where I wasn't satisfied with it. And I don't feel comfortable selling the way it is now. I know it'll still catch a fish, but still, if I don't feel like if I wouldn't fish something myself, I'm not gonna sell it to anyone. That just doesn't sit right with me. And it is a leader that I would not be satisfied to fish enough with to fish myself. So let's just do that leader, and then I'll try to get my drill to make all the future leaders without it messing up my elbow. Because if I make a large batch of leaders right now, I don't know how my elbow will feel the next day. That's why I don't want to just go ahead and make all of them right now. Otherwise, I would have already finished them. But I really need a drill to make it properly, and you'll kind of see why. I might not show everything in detail, because you want to keep some extra secrecy with. This is already a method that I'm showing you how I'm doing it, but I'm not explaining exactly how I'm doing it. And I don't know if, like, you have to be really freaking smart to understand how this is done. I think it'll take a long time till anyone else will catch on to how I'm actually rigging these up to get this effect. And since I want to try to make a bit of a living off of it, I'm going to keep it like this for a while. But yeah. The one shark leader I'm not satisfied with at the moment. We'll just rebuild it right after this leader. The others that I've already done, they're good, but I need to make a couple more, so yeah. They're still not the way I wanted. Actually, there's 2 I need to rebuild. Technically. Yeah, there's 2 I need to rebuild. Okay. I'll be going for 6 skill at the end of next month. Okay, yeah, I'll see if maybe this week I can get a drill. Then I can ship them at the end of the week. Okay, so big loop, big loop, big loop. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 passes. That should be good enough. Some pliers to tighten it, because we don't play around here. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll leave this one without a hook sleeve. There you can also inspect my knots, basically, a little bit. That'll be nice from that perspective, too. Anyway. And yeah, as you can see, true barbless. Hook tied on. Loopy loop. And yeah, loop big enough to literally reach through with your hand, grab your bait, loop it on through, and yeah. Not saying you have to do it, but you know, it's nice to be able to, even if you have a bait on, to still be able to change the leader. So, where's my package? Here's one. But there should be another there, down on the floor. There's a package where we'll do our 3 other leaders. So, yeah. They only come in packs of 2 normally when you buy them, by the way. Which is why they're kind of expensive. But they should literally last, at least they should last an entire season, maybe even a lifetime. But yeah, all packaged up. Voila! Nice. Anywho, those are nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. Where's the shark leader that I don't feel comfortable sending to you as it is? Well, there's this one, but that's not the one I'm talking about because I wasn't even planning on sending that one to you. The ones that are hanging here, there's one. This shark leader will do a rebuild right now. Basically, we'll reattach this hook. This is a rig that I'll be marketing in the future as the Stealthy Tiger. Because this rig is already almost Tiger Shark proof, but it is very, it uses pretty thin materials. Nothing on here is ultra, well, it is ultra heavy duty, but nothing is ultra thick, The disadvantage of this rig is simply just it doesn't last forever. This is a rig you have to replace quite a bit more frequently, but it uses relatively cheap components, and yeah, it's not a big deal if you break it off. And still it'll get shy fish to bite that don't want to take the bait. But it is really good against sharks that can bite you off, even on cable. Like sharks that bite through cable will have a hard time on this. No, actually, I wanted to call, or maybe I'll call this the Wary Tiger. And so stealth, no, yeah, this will be the Wary Tiger rig. So Stealthy Tiger will be the heavier duty version of this rig, basically. Still something that's pretty hard to detect for a shark, even a big shark, but but quite a bit more heavy duty. Okay, we'll have to cut this. This connection will be cut. Yes, we will cut this rig because this shit happens if it goes over an edge. It doesn't really want to turn and catch. It might if you give it enough play, but it also might not. So we don't do this stuff over here. If it's not 90% perfect, and this is only like 60, 70% perfect, maybe. If it's not 90% perfect, I'm not going to sell it. That is a standard I have for myself. 90%, we don't need 100% perfection, but we need 90%. And all my, probably all my future shark leaders will be built in the same style as this rig I'm gonna build right now. We'll get action. Yeah. Another reason to build them to the highest standards, Anyway. How much do we need? Not that more, honestly. Removing the custom coating off of our hook. Right. But we'll have to reverse engineer this rig in a way. We already now have to add all our shrink tubes onto it. We're just changing the connection to the hook. The rest of the rig can stay as it is. So, which shrink tubes are we gonna need? Probably this. Yep. Are we gonna need the whole thing? No, but how much will we need? Actually, let's do the whole thing, because there's gonna be such a tiny rest left over. Oh, it's gonna be worth it. And then a taper of different size shrink tubes. Voila, voila. And okay, so line of smallest size. Voila. Actually, I'll stretch the ends out here with my split ring pliers. Or with these pistol pliers, just to make sure they actually fit. Okay, we need other pliers for the smallest size, because these needle nose pliers are actually too big for lead application. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Where does this hook come from? Okay, now the tricky part comes. Okay, now it would be nice to have magnesium or somewhere here. Okay, Sturgeon, our first sacrificial anode is going to be some magnesium tape. Because magnesium is corrodes very easily in salt water, which is why it makes a good material for a sacrificial anode to prevent corrosion on the materials that actually matters, which are, of course, our cable, or hook, especially the hook point, and anything that's holding those together. Those are the things where we want to avoid corrosion at any cost. And one cost that where we don't, one of those costs is this magnesium tape, because this stuff is cheap and it serves no real purpose other than keeping everything else from corroding. Okay, let's get our crimping pliers. We just kind of crimp this in place. Not really crimping it, just. This is not a load bearing connection. Honestly, it's a pain. But okay. It should stay here for now. We'll keep our tack end in place. Now, where's our stainless steel wire? We'll do basically a PR knot. We're basically doing a PR knot now. But we're using stainless steel instead of cable. If you know, you know. Probably no one knows, but that's fine. A little bit of secrecy. It's needed. Okay. Come on, where do I have my wire? Gosh. Why can I always find everything except the stuff I need right now? I know this looks like a mess, and it kind of is. I can still find pretty much anything. Just the stuff I need right this second. And that's always the stuff that I can't seem to find. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think I found it. Yep. Found it. Stainless steel wire. Organized chaos. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, let's step a bit from here so we got some tension, get some tension on the line. Actually, let's do the first few reps manually. Let's quote unquote. Now we should be good. Just twisting. And this is a part where I need a drill in the future. Just use a gloved hand and maybe a bobbin for doing this part right here. This is so much easier, but I know my elbows are gonna hate me if I do it like this. to be fair, if you do it by hand, the bigger the hook, the easier this process is. Okay, would have needed to twist these two together. It's a very beginning. No. I think I know what I'll do with magnesium tape from now on. Yeah. There's a better way of this. Don't involve it in the connection itself. Instead, just give it one tight pass at the end. Okay, now we need some zinc oxide tape. We have some in here. Here, but I just need it. Well, I need it right. I already stopped. Oh, freaking hell. Yeah, I already started to feel my elbow a little bit, so that is why I can't. I need a drill for this. But anywho, oh, okay. Here is actually here is our zinc oxide tape. You literally just do singular pass to add as little bulk as possible to the hook, or as little unnecessary bulk as possible, I should maybe say. Okay, let's get started. But before our zinc oxide tape, I should have added the magnesium. Anyway, next time. Okay. This is, yeah. It's also way faster with a drill. Oh, fuck my nose, I'm sorry. Okay, let's do a magnesium tape now. Okay. Let's cut this. Twist it a bit tighter, but not so much that we actually break the wire. Okay, quick view. This is how it looks now. You know, that thing ain't going anywhere. Or this ain't going nowhere. How weird Americans would say. Okay. Now we just need to shrink this down. I do have a fan, but I'm just going to do the lighter because it's much quicker. Easier. And after this, we'll call it a night, I think. But yeah. There, okay. Actually, let's do a quick little sleeve over that as well. That's going to be nice. Not really necessary, but it's not gonna. Definitely not a bad thing. Alrighty, what up? Let's get her done. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we need a new lighter, but we're basically done, so that's all right. Did I have another lighter up here, or where was it? I know I saw one earlier. No, I'm searching something else. Okay, here's another lighter. Okay. Actually, like this might work pretty well. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Lighter. Okay, this isn't 100% perfect, but yeah, we say 90%, and I think that fits the 90% rule. Still there, Sturgeon? Because I don't think that's enough. Because this leader, yeah. I'm back. The live cut out. Okay, good. Well, this is, I think we'll end the live now. Because, yeah, I need to drill. But this is how, I said a minute ago that if the rigs have to be at least 90% perfect. Not 100%, because that's just too much, but yeah. So, and you'll see the difference. This rig, if it wasn't coming over facing the right direction, this hook just would not turn. It would just run over. Now let's see, even grabbing super close to the hook, if I can get it to not turn, okay, if I grab super close. But if I give it just a little more room, now, you know, I'm trying hard, but the hook just wants to turn. So yeah, this is a different way of attaching the hook now. Jeez. I have to grab it like this for it to even come facing the wrong way. But yeah, if I do anything, if I allow it to just come naturally, it'll always turn and catch. So yeah, question is just, will this hold up to a monster? It should, but you never know. Well, actually, do know, but anyway. Can't wait to use that. Yeah, like I said, look, even I can't even hold it up. It already wants to flip over, you know? And just has a swivel attached to it still. It just wants to turn over and come facing with the hook point in the right direction. So yeah. Alrighty. Voila. And this wig will be, I think I'll sell this as the varied tiger. The very in terms of careful. I'll also make a similar one, a bit beefier as the stealthy tiger. That's definitely a because this isn't really a true monster catcher yet. This is a big fish rig, but not a true monster catcher. But I'll make the true monster catcher version that's a bit heavier duty, but still a lot lighter than I would do than a rig would be for giant tiger sharks normally to prevent bite-offs. But yeah. All right. As soon as I've got my drill, we'll finish it. And yeah. This is one of the rigs with 600-pound mono. Anyway, voila. Of course, it's also a pulley rig and everything, but yeah. So we have Sturgeon and everyone else. We have 3 sacrificial anodes in this rig. We have, on our hooks itself, we've got stainless steel isn't a sacrificial anode, but we have magnesium and zinc oxide tape. Then we have our cable, which is crimped with, over here, a copper crimp and an aluminum crimp. So aluminum will turn itself into a sacrificial anode, while the copper will actually be load bearing. And then we have aluminum crimps on the cable, but those don't really be very on the mono, but yeah, anyway. So we have 3 different types of metals that will all corrode before our leader, and at least 2 of them will corrode before our hook. So this will protect the hook from the salt water. Because another reason why hooks break, other than the hook itself, is also if corrosion enters the metal. If you're lucky, only the very outside will corrode, but it's also possible that the corrosion eats itself into the metal and actually damages the internal structure, causing to breaks and bite offs that shouldn't happen because the material got damaged by this. So yeah, but this isn't going to be an issue because we have our 3 separate sacrificial anodes that will basically, the saltwater corrosion will eat away at those anodes that we placed there for that exact purpose. We have some pieces of metal and their only purpose is to corrode away. And that them corroding actually protects the rest. It's some pretty sciencey, geeky shit with sacrificial anodes, but yeah. Basically, if you have 2 or more metals connected to each other in salt water, the least precious metal will get eaten away by corrosion first. But this process also protects the other metals. With the most precious metal, in this case being the stainless steel of the leader, being the one that gets corroded the last. The hook is our second or third most precious metal. So the hook might corrode just right before the leader or maybe a bit earlier, but we still have 2 metals that will definitely corrode before the hook does. So yeah, cheers. This is a rig like this now, I would throw it out and fish it myself too. If I was fishing somewhere for medium-sized sharks that might be a bit leader shy, this would be the way to go. Anyway, one of our next rigs to rebuild, but not today, can't be arsed, is this one here. This is an all metal, all cable, big boy rig with a 20-0 catch all tackle circle hook. It's a good rig, but same issue. I'll show you what happens if you run this leader. It kind of wants to turn, kind of doesn't, you know? It'll still catch fish, but it's not perfect. It's not bad, but it's not perfect. You know? If we don't give it a ton of freedom, it's not enough to catch if it's coming the wrong way. But with our change that we'll do to this, it should catch even facing the wrong way. So yeah. After everything all built, just let me know what I owe you, brother. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go overboard. And yeah. I've also purposefully used some cheaper materials without making it likely to fail. But yeah, I haven't used the best of the best if it's going to be 3 times as expensive on those rigs. But anyway, I think we'll call it a day now. Or night, I should say, because it's what? 4:53 in the morning. Jesus, yeah. I will. Oh. And I don't have the nerve to keep going. So, thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one and see y'all soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.